Today, what we're going to do, we're going to start working through evaluating all these different expressions. We're going to go back to a lot of what we did in the first quarter. I don't think I turned on the mic yet. Nope. Today, what we're going to do is evaluate these expressions that we've been developing. We're going to go back to a lot of what we did in the first quarter on these tables. One big difference, these are not ratio tables. These are just tables. So the reason I say that, we're not always going to see a multiplicative relationship all the way across. Our first scenario, we're talking about me and my sister. Sister's always 2 years older. So what we're doing is looking at the table and finding patterns. What patterns did you guys see in this table? Gabby? Adding 2. So as I went left to right, I always added 2. And the other patterns? Jaden?
That she was always 2 years older than him, so it would just be like his age plus 2.
That's what we just saw. Any other ones?
When the guy turns his age, his sister's age is double. You don't tell me they're both girls.
Not double. Double we imply multiplying. What did you see, Kale? Okay, so everybody's looking at it the same way. What if I looked, say, down the table? What happened? So I went from one row to the next row. What happened? What if I went from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3? What's happening?
You're adding 1.
Adding 1. So going down, I'm adding 1 every time. So any other ways I could go on my table? Gabby? Good. So if I go from the right to the left, and also let me add this up here. Remember when we talked about tables, that's our x and our y value. So if I go from right to left, I am subtracting 2. Zoani? If I go up, I'm doing what? Subtracting 1. So what do you notice about this? Left to right was plus 2, right to left is minus 2. Going down, I add 1. Going up, I subtract 1. You guys know what we call that? If I subtract instead of add? 7 is always a good answer. But these are inverse. So we do inverse operations. If I go one way, I can get back by doing the inverse operation. So on the day I turned 8 years old, how old was my sister? 10. How do you know? I add 2. Sorry that the board's not showing up so well. It says I add 2. On the day I turned 16, how old was my sister? 18. How do I know? I add 2. Do we need to extend the table to get these answers?
Yes.
Huh?
You don't necessarily have to.
Good. So, but do I need to? No. But I could. So no, I don't have to. But I could. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Gabby, question? Sure. Yeah, explanations are good. Go to our next page. So we're going to look at the same thing. if you don't know how old I am, let's use a variable for my age and say that y is my age. Can I develop an expression to describe how old my sister is? So in other words, if I said my age here is y, what would my sister's age be?
Well, it's the number or the...
Maddie? How do you know that? We don't know what y is. Gabby? No, I'm just saying if I'm y years old, how old is my sister going to be? Jaden?
Because we don't know. That y could be like...
But could I do it in terms of y? If I tell you what y is, would you be able to figure out my sister's age?
Yes.
How? What would I do?
You would add 2.
So hers would be whatever mine is plus 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I was y, it would be y plus 2. Then we add those values to that last line, which we just did. That is the answer. Now let's do another one. Very similar. So how old was I when my sister was 6? 4. We can get that right off of our table, right? But how old was I when my sister was 15?
13.
How'd you get that, Sophia?
Because if you look at the pattern, it's plus 2 every time. So if you just add 2 from the sister's age, which is 15, you subtract 2 to my age, which is 13.
Good. So I just subtracted 2. And I'm going to just shorthand that. My board's not cooperating. Minus 2. That word is just, although it's hard to see. So, looking at table 2, if I know my sister's age, can you determine my age?
Yes.
Yes. If we use a variable g for my sister's age, what expression would describe my age? In other words, if I put a g here, what would I put over here to say how could I figure that out? No, I want to do it in terms of g. Yeah?
G minus 2.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay? One thing you can always do, guys, is use a few of your values and check it. So if I said g is 3, and I did 3 minus 2, is that 1? Yeah? If I said g is 5, is 5 minus 2 3?
Yes.
Yeah. If I check 2 values and it works, I probably did it right. So we're going to just add those to the table, which we did. So now we have 3 calculations to do, 22, 23, and 24. How old am I when my sister was those ages? Jaden?
20, 21, and 22.
Does that make sense to everybody? What did you do, Jaden?
I just subtracted 2.
That easy, right, guys? Are the tables making sense? You understand how we develop this expression off of the table?
Yes.
Okay? This is the biggest thing of what we're doing today. It's also why it looks like you have a ton of homework, because the homework is just these big tables. So it's really not that bad, guys. Scroll down and scroll to the next page. Page 85. Guys, yep, there you go. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to try to work this one out because they threw some curveballs in here that I want you to be able to experience before I lead you through them. So I'm going to let you guys work independently. You can work as tables. You guys actually did pretty good on that first set. So I'll let you work as tables again. Just make sure everybody is getting it all done. Our first part. Guys, we're going. The big thing on this, they each bring 1 per day starting on the first day of school. Carter had a head start because his aunt had 15. Noah saved 10, and he added those on his first day. So after the first day, what am I doing in each column?
You're
Adding 1. So adding 1 each day, that would become 12, 13, 14, 15. On the other side, adding 1, 17, 18, 19, 20. Everybody understand where those numbers came from?
Yes.
Good. Now let's start to break it down. Just as we did last time, let's look and say, now we're just going to go with an unknown D. So this will work for any time at the year because we have this constant thing that they're doing the same thing every time. They're bringing one more. So on day D of school, how many box tops will Noah have brought to school?
Wait.
Yes,
What is D school day?
D. So in other words, whatever school day I want, from now until day 180, when the last day of school is, I can figure out how much he had done.
50.
D, yes, plus 11.
I know that.
You knew it? How many of you knew that?
I'm not gonna raise my hand.
Okay, so here's our big key. Guys, Joaquin, Takeo, you guys probably shouldn't be sitting together.
I agree.
I'm just going to throw that out there. You may want to make a wise choice and separate you from each other because you two working together is not working. Joaquin, as much as I'm in contact with your mom, I may tell her to watch the video tonight to hear the advice I was giving you in class. So, let's check this. Here is the big key takeaway on this, guys. How long does it take me to check this? Almost no time. All I'm going to do is go back to the values I've already got in my table and check it. So now I'm going to say day 1, 1 plus 11 is 11. 2 plus 11 is 12.
2 plus 11 is
That's what our formula says. Says for day D, now day 1, 1 plus 11 is 11. 2 plus 11 is 12. 3 plus 11 is 13. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Because 1 plus 11 is 11, right? Ethan? 1 plus 11 is 11. You said it made sense.
Isn't that multiplication though?
You
11
did.
times 1 is 11.
It doesn't make sense.
Which is basically saying it makes sense.
Wait, I'm bruh. Wait a minute. Wait, 11 times 1 is 11.
Wait, I have a question.
So what
Right.
do you be doing what you said?
How did you get D? This letter to turn into 1.
Because D is just a generic for any school day throughout the school year.
So if I said D was D is day 5, then it could just be 5 now.
Yeah, so now it's day 5. So I substitute that value in for my variable and say, okay, that should now equal that column.
Then how do we know which one's right?
Because were any of those answers right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really? Which one was right?
The first one's
Really? So 1 plus 11 is 11?
no.
Ethan?
No.
Oh, so the 5 plus 11 is 15 was right.
No.
Gabby? No, table's right. Our expression is wrong.
Oh. Then why did you say it was right?
I didn't say it was right.
Then why did you keep it up there and not say it's wrong?
Because you guys need to understand that it's wrong, and you need to understand why it's wrong.
I did.
Guys, I will throw wrong stuff on the board because you need to understand your answer. If I only do that when you're wrong and don't write it up there, then you know that's a clue to you that you messed it up.
I just
Well,
stabbed
yeah,
myself
that's
with my
kind of the
pencil.
point of not writing wrong stuff.
No, the point of writing the wrong stuff on the board is now when I write the right thing on the board, you still need to understand why it's right.
Why is it 10 now?
Oh, I get it. Why is it?
Let's try it.
Can I explain?
Now I'm going to say D is 1. Is 1 plus 10 11? Is 2 plus 10 12? Is 5 plus 10 15? So did this expression now exemplify what we did between our school days and our total for Noah? Yes. So now at any point in the year, would I be able to find how many he has given?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Why didn't you listen to me when I said that
Right, because
And that's
you were the only one
multiplication.
that caught it. I wanted to make everybody understand.
No, because
So yes,
I
believe it or not, I
keep
did
on-
hear you. I just did some selective hearing there because everybody else was still going along with it. Okay, now that we've hit that, let's try again. Elena? Because what happened on the first day of school?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We literally just circled it right here. Noah had saved 10. And then on the first day of school, he also brought one. So he had the 10 his grandma had saved, plus the one that he got off his Pop-Tart that morning.
Pop-Tart. Who's Pop-Tart?
Pop-Tarts.
Oh.
The box tops? Yeah.
Why'd you say Pop-Tart? Wait.
Because he probably had Pop-Tarts for breakfast. That's where he got the little box top label
Now I have a
to bring in.
Oh.
All right. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because we're already running out of time. Guys, here's our big one. Now that we've talked about that, now let's talk about Carter. We're going to go through that same exercise on any day D of school. What expression would I use to find out how many Carter has brought to school? KO? D plus 15. Wow, you guys just keep rolling. So is everybody okay with that one? Let's check it. Is 15 plus 1, 16? 15 plus 2, 17? 15 plus 5, 20?
Somebody said no.
Someone was saying
15
no.
plus 5.
Yes, those are all correct. That is the correct expression. Here's our next big one on day 10 of school. How many will Noah have brought to
30.
school?
30.
30, thank you. Does anybody have something different?
20. I was somebody
20?
40.
Ethan, you're 20 less? 25?
I still think 25 is right. No,
Anybody else?
hang on, I want to explain my answer.
Salami?
Okay, so you see how it's day 5 on the
Right.
Right. So that means it was 10, because 5 plus 5 equals 10, right? So that
Good.
means that you would double 15, and 15 plus 15 is 30 plus 30.
That is exceptionally logical. I love your logic.
See, I'm smart. No, 15 plus 15 is 20. Yeah.
That's why she said. So, Ethan, that was a very good explanation. Can you explain how you managed to get 20?
She doesn't need to explain anything. I get it.
So, you now believe you're wrong?
Yeah. I think
Gabby? I'm sorry? Okay, let's hear Gabby's explanation. Right, but we're not talking about Carter. We're talking about Noah. So, are you going to go back? So, you're going from 25 to 20?
I still think it's 25.
Oh, we do have a 25 defender. Okay. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Good. Takeo, explain your answer for us.
The reason why it's 21 because they had 10 that started off, and they plus 1 from the first day,
Uh-huh.
and it'd be on the left.
Good.
Oh, 10 more box stops for the 10 more days that they bring the box stops to beat. Wait, I don't understand.
Except what day is 10 days
11
after the
plus
first
10.
day?
Wait, I don't understand. Can you please explain?
Jaden?
I searched my mind. So I wasn't sure. So then I picked 40, but then I picked 21, and now I picked 20 because 10 plus 10 is 20.
Good. So he actually went back to our expression.
Wait, that was Noah? I thought that was.
That was Noah. Noah. He went back to our expression and he said, we said it's D plus 10. We verified that it was right by using a few examples from our table. So now I'm going to do day 10. 10 plus 10 is 20.
Excuse me.
Okay, Zawami, here's the problem with your reasoning. Zawami did not take into account the fact that 10 of those were from the summer.
Wait, what?
10 of those didn't appear again. He's only doing one extra per day. So he's actually only brought in 5 in those 5 days. In the next 5 days, he's going to bring in 5 more. Yes?
Okay, okay. Why did you keep them on the board?
Because if I don't write them down, you know they're wrong.
Yeah.
Then we ruin all of the learning that's happened since then.
But now I'm mad because they're on the board and now I'm mad.
Okay. I'm big enough to allow you to be mad at me. Maddie? Guys, quiet down. I'm sorry? D, yeah, it's a letter D. D plus 10. It's our expression right here.
No, after D is E.
Now, since we've gone through that exercise, this one should be quick. How much will Carter brought on day 10? Gabby? Which one? Those are different numbers. 25. Why? What was our expression? D plus 15. I put 10 plus 15 gives me 25. Guys, are you starting to understand this?
Yeah.
Is it making sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at another one then. Here on page 86. We're running out of time, so I'll run through this with you, mostly because it's on the recording side. So here's our big deal. Primary does 200. Intermediate recycles the same, but had 300 left over from summer school. The custodian added this extra 300 on the first recycle week. So we're going to number the weeks. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then record the amount of paper by both schools. So in the primary school, it's just the 200 that they get each week, right? So we go 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1,000. However, on the intermediate school, not only do they have this amount, they have 300 that came from the summer that they added the first week. So instead of 200, my first entry is going to be 500. It's plus 300. But the next week, what did I add? 200. 200. So do I double it? No. No, I add 200. So that's going to be 700, 900, 1,100, sorry. 1,100 and 1,300. Yes. Because how much do they add each week? Right here. Each week it's 200 pounds. That's a 900. That's a 1,100. 1,100. There you go. That's better. Now, if this continues, what will be the total amount collected for each school on week 10? So, week 10 for the primary school will be what? 2,000? 2,000. Everybody okay with that? Week 10 on the intermediate school will be 2,300?
That's Miles said it was wrong.
Well, let's look. Is it wrong? So 5, I did 1,000. 10, I did 2,000. Doubled it, right? 5, I did 1,300. 10, I did 2,300.
It's wrong.
So, because I double it, right?
Still wrong.
What's right? So what's the right answer, Salami?
I don't know, but I know they're wrong.
Salami is this one. Not salami, salami.
Okay, him, please.
No. No violence in class unless I'm doing it. Guys, which answer is right? How many of you go for 2,300, Elena?
Yeah.
Which one's right?
I feel like it's the one.
Or is it something different? Do we not have it up there yet?
No, I'm pretty sure you have it up there.
Which one?
No. 2,300.
Can you defend 2,300? Because I defended 2,000. I said I just double it.
Oh yeah, you just doubled it.
Jaden?
2,400.
2,500, you get 2,400.
Can I show my work?
2,400.
Why that?
Because you just add 2. Hold on. I did it quickly in my head.
Maddie?
I counted.
Maddie,
I added 2.
I'm thinking that's not a good C for you. Neither of you paid any attention this entire lesson. That's fine. You can get the same view from over here, and it'll be much harder for you to Elena to be talking the entire time. Because the hard part is it's making it much more difficult for Jackson to pay attention. I know you weren't. To Elena, who has been talking nonstop. Okay. Guys, the answer is 2,300.
Yes, I knew.
It's not just doubling. Okay? You gotta pay attention. Our relationship is this is always 300 bigger, right?
Yes.
So if it's 2,000, 300 bigger is 2,300. Why is that? Here's the why. Because they added a 300 pounds one time. Okay? Don't get confused. Pay attention to the details. That one is wrong. Uh-oh, I wrote another wrong one up there. I'm in trouble with somebody.
Me.
Okay, our next one. What's the first thing I need to put on my table? No. No. Thank you. Kristen, I'm going to go Kristen and Shelly because Kristen's younger. You technically can do this either way. And then my first data entry would be what? 0 on Kristen and 5 on Shelly, and then what?
1 and 10.
No, 1 and 5.
Oh,
1 and 6.
1 and 6.
1 and 6, 2, 7, 3, 8, 4, 9. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, if Kristen is 16, how old is Shelly? Swami?
11.
If Kristen is 16, how old is Shelly?
21.
If Kristen is K, how old is Shelly? Kristen is K, Shelly is K, K plus 5.
Why is it 5?
Because how do I go from one column to the other?
But last time it was 4.
This time it's 5. If Shelly is S, S minus 5.
I put an 8 instead of an S.
So if this one is S, this one is S minus 5. Again, make sure your S's don't look like 5s. Do something to distinguish. Okay, here's our first set of homework. You can see, guys, it really isn't that bad. It's literally just these big tables. That is all of the homework you have. There's a few questions with them, but it's not nearly as impressive as it looks. Here's our next one. Now we're going to look at multiplication and division. Here's our big difference. Farmer's market selling bags of apples. In every bag, there are 3 apples. So if I do one bag, 96. Yeah, 96. No, 90. Page 90, guys. So if I have 2 bags of apples, how many apples are there? 6. If I have 3 bags of apples,
9.
9. If I have 4 bags of apple. If I have some number B, it's going to be
B plus 3.
B plus 3. Everybody good with that? So let's just double, what?
Why?
Let's check it. Because Takeo said it was.
Yeah.
Takeo's pretty smart.
I need him brain.
So let's check it. Again, guys, once you've developed your expressions, Ethan, chair down. Ethan, don't lean like that.
Wait.
Once I've developed my expressions, they're very easy to check because I've got the data, right?
Yeah.
So let's put it in. If B is 1, 1 plus 3 is 3.
No, wait.
2 plus 3 is 6.
Wait, no.
I messed it up, didn't I?
Yes, sir. Kyla's raising her hand. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Kyla?
I don't know if I'm just stupid, but it says 1 and then it says 3. So wouldn't it be plus
Never
2?
try yourself.
Plus 2?
Yes.
Let's try that. Because our 3 already didn't work, right? So let's try B plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 9.
No.
No? So we still don't have it right? Let's listen to the announcements real quick.
Do you know that kindness matters at KMS? Do you know that character is doing the right thing without being told? We want you to
So you guys missed that one. I'm multiplying now. It's 3 times B. Because every bag has 3 apples. So you can check that. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Make sense? So given what we talked about before, what if I now have some number of apples? How would I be able to find out what number of bags I need?
Times it by 3. I don't know how many bags dividing it by 3.
Inverse operations. Remember, once I've discovered the relationship in one direction, the inverse operation takes me the other direction. Make sense? So I can now use that information. If I had 25 bags of apples to sell, how many apples is that?
25 times 3.
25 times 3 or 75.
Wow, 75.
What if I had 600 apples? How many bags would I need? So now I'm going the other way. I have 600 apples. How many bags do I need? 200. Divide it by 3. Make sense?
What about C? Give me my pencil. I need it.
Okay. Last page. I hope we can knock this one out real quick. On 91. The big giveaway on this one, guys. Each one is 5 cents, but then they tell me in dollars. So how do I write 5 cents in dollars? 0.05.
0.06.
10, 15, 20.
25.
No, now it goes to 10.
$1.
So 10 would be 50 cents.
Wait, what is
Idiot.
50 would be
$1.
$2.50. 100 would be
15. Now we just
$5. Some number C, I have to multiply by 5 cents times the number of cans. Meaning, if I come down this way, the 10 was 50 cents. This one was 20 cents. Okay,
Oh, I didn't write it all down.
the rest of your homework is just finishing up those pages out of the module 94 and 95. Don't worry about the ones we didn't get to in class. Okay? Good job, guys. Have a great day.